It's been a long time since we've had a chance to say hello to George Jones, a young man who has had, I guess, more hit records than his share. And, George, I want to congratulate you on your latest one, too.
Well, I'd like to thank you very much. And, we're happy that you're spinning our records and everything.
Well, George, wherever you go, it seems that people just won't let you leave the stage. And, of course, this is a pretty good indication of your popularity. And we've seen you stop the show here in Charlotte at the Coliseum before several thousand fans. How long have you been singing?
Well, I guess I've been singing about all my life, I guess. Ever since I can remember, well, up to around 8 or 10 years old. Started singing in church, at home,
How old were you when you decided to get into the country and western business?
I was, I guess, 17, 18 years old. I was wanting to get started. Of course, it was a long climb to get a chance, to get a break, but I guess it was worth it all.
Well, I would say that you have certainly had your share of success, and I know that you're going to continue as long as you continue having success, as long as you continue writing and recording these hits. How long have you been writing songs?
Well, I used to write quite a few ever since I was around 20, and I'm 32 now, I think. I've had quite a few, well, not quite a few. I've had 5 or 6 recorded by some of the other artists besides myself. And, of course, here lately I've been having to, work so steady on the road and everything. It's been hard to write in about the last 3 years. I get ideas, but I can't ever get a chance to finish them.
It takes...
What did I say was something else?
Okay. Well, it takes quite a bit of effort, really, to turn a song out, doesn't it, George?
Yes. Well, then, in a way, not too much, though. I've wrote songs that have been the best for me within maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Just as
the ones that I like the best that didn't do anything for me, it seemed like it took me forever to write.
Is there any certain rule or set pattern that you can go by to write a hit song like you do?
Oh, none. Actually, if you're in the business and you sing and play, well, you get all kind of ideas, and it's just when one comes to you, ain't no telling what it is, but when it comes to you, well, then it takes shape from there.
George, in the roughly 15 years now that you've been singing professionally, how many records have you had released?
Well, that'd be hard to say. I can't remember. I've been on about 3 different labels, and they keep releasing one on me. Every time one releases one, the other does, and I've had several albums. I think I could guess that probably closer than I could my singles. I've probably had about 23, 24 albums out. And then, and I got a new one coming out, Melba Montgomery and myself, and I got 2 or 3 cut in the can that'll probably be out by the first of the year or right after the first of the year.
How did you get the idea to start doing duets? Now, this was something that hadn't been done in a long time, successfully, between a female and a male vocalist.
Well, I had a sister, still have, and I was brought up before I ever had a guitar, and we sung harmony together all the time, and I always did like to hear duets, especially even, bluegrass music. I love to hear more than just one person singing, yet still singing it country style, And I guess I'd say that it came from there. My sister and myself, we sang, all the time. Old songs back then, Precious Jewel, Roy Acuff recording, songs like that.
You grew up in Texas, didn't you?
Yes, Saratoga, Texas, and I still live about 40 miles from there in Beaumont, Texas.
George, what's in the future now for one of the most successful in the country and western field today, George Jones?
Well, about the only thing is just keep recording and hoping they keep liking it.
And I'm sure they will. Thank you, George, for chatting with us. And before you leave, let me get you to introduce that latest, and we'll put it on for the folks listening in.
All right, let's invite them over again.
A great big welcome back to one of the great country and western stars, George Jones. George, it's always so very nice to have you back to chat with us on WBT's Carolina Country Style, and we look forward to it each and every time.
Well, thank you very much, Doug. It's always a pleasure to get a chance to bop my gums with you a little bit, and we always look forward to coming back to good old Charlotte and or is it Charlotte?
Close,
Charlotte.
that's
I
right.
believe that's it.
George, you know what? So many thousands of people literally look forward to your return to the Charlotte Coliseum, too. You've got tremendous support in this area, as you know.
Well, bless their hearts. I appreciate knowing that very much, and we always try our best to record the type of songs that we think the public might like best, and that, of course, naturally I have to like them myself, too, before we do them, and we're going to try our best to keep them as country as possible, and as long as they'll go out and buy them and keep us in the business, we're going to record them.
George, you do have quite a bit to say about the songs that you actually record, don't you?
Oh, yes. They don't give me any problems there. I can, pick out my tunes and go in and record them, arrange them, just about any way that I like for them to be. So I don't have any problems there whatsoever. I'm very happy in the recording end of it.
I suppose each star has a different method, maybe, or a different approach that he uses to his arrangements. And I was talking with one of your men who works with you tonight, early, who's going to be doing a little harmony with you tonight on the show. And he said that, he thought that George Jones's phrasing was a thing maybe that made him different. And have you had anybody to talk to you about this, the way you phrase your songs, the way you sing the lyrics?
Well, from time to time, Doug, people will mention something, in a roundabout way about how I phrase my words and everything, but I don't know. It comes natural, I feel it that way, and that's the way it comes out. I guess it is a little different. We have to be a little different, I guess, from each and every other artist. If you're not, you don't have anything a little different for the public to like. The public, they like things different too every once in a while, and I'm glad to say they took a liking to my little difference.
Yeah. Well, George, your style is the thing that you've had all along. You haven't developed or changed or added to or taken away from. You sing just pretty naturally the way you've sung ever since you were a kid when you first started.
Well, I'd say you was right on all of them, but developed is according to what you mean there. Naturally, it developed a little bit more as we went along. What I'm referring to is back on all the first old records. I could really improve my singing quite a bit. I'd go off key a little bit, or maybe my musicians that I used way back then wasn't quite as good, probably no better than I was at the time. And as you go along, you learn more about the business and everything, which is true about any type of job. And so I would say we developed either to the good or the bad. I don't know which way, but we developed in the sense of words.
Well, no doubt, George Jones improved a little bit because you have matured somewhat, and your voice perhaps has mellowed a little bit.
No offense to you, Doug. What I meant was,
I understand.
Thank God we got a little better, I think, I hope.
Well, I think this is generally true of country music. It's getting better all the time, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's, just for example, just heard that New York City has a brand new all-country music station there, which people just never would believe that it would ever happen. And also in Chicago, WJJD there in Chicago. Well, they're popping up all over to it, especially in the smaller areas, even to the larger areas. And it really makes myself, and I know everybody in the business that's affiliated with country music in any shape, form, or fashion, very happy.
George, you've been in the business professionally now for about 15 or 16, 17 years, actually. Close to 15 years.
Well, I'd say professionally, Doug, about ever since February of 1954. Of course, I played for dances and what have you for a few years before that.
Have you ever seen anything like the popularity that country music is enjoying now in the number of years that you've been in it?
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't think I'd ever see it again, and it had me worried for a while, but I'm very, very proud and happy right now, I'll tell you. It's good to see it.
It's stronger than ever, isn't it?
It sure is, and I think as strong as it is right now, that it's really going to take what do you call it? I don't know, I can't get the word in my mouth, but it's going to take a disaster to push it out of the way now, I think.
How do you account for this amazing strength that country music is enjoying these days?
Well, Doug, I'll tell you about the most simple way I can explain it. Country music, it is country music. It's American music. It's always been here. It's one of the first to get here, and it'll be the last to leave, I'm sure. But what I think it is more people that have downgraded it in the past, not so much with mouth, but I mean in the mind, have become to realize that it's simple, something that they can understand, And by golly, when they set their mind to it and listen to it for a while, they can truthfully say they enjoy it. And I think that's what's made it so powerful now, what's made its big comeback. Because, you know, you've noticed how a lot of the country songs have went over into the pop field.
And even now, Bing Crosby has cut in a complete album of country songs.
Right.
All country songs.
Dean Martin has, and several of them.
Sinatra's cutting them.
Right.
Lonesome Me and things.
Right.
Well, it's true that it has wider appeal, no doubt, to more people, and people are not ashamed of enjoying country music anymore. George, I think this is the big difference.
That's right. That's truth. This real, I don't know, it's hard to say what is corn and what is the better good of country music. I think it all has its positions, its places, its type of fans, and if you put it all together, it's just we're bound to satisfy one here and there.
That's exactly right. George, since the last time we chatted with you, or had a chance to talk with you and bring our listeners up to date, you've been doing some duet work with Gene Pitney that has pleased a lot of listeners, I know.
Well, I'll tell you, Doug, we just did it to be different, and it's different, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
We've been successful with it so far. It's been, we've had 2 albums now and 3 singles. Every one of them has been real successful except the one, the Louisiana Man. We got a lot of requests for it everywhere we go, but it didn't seem to sell as good as the rest of them. But that's not a bad average, and it's different.
I'm curious about the decision now. Here was George Jones, who's one of the top stars in the country and western field, already well established. And here's Gene Pitney, who is one of the top stars in the rock and roll category. How did you decide to put these things together and come up with a winner this way?
Well, it wasn't myself, Doug. It was Pappy Daly and Art Talmadge. They are the new president and vice president of Musicorps Records that I'm with now. I'm no longer with Mercury or United Artists, you know. I've been with Musicorps since January. And it was their idea. They formed Musicorps, and I went with them. Well, they had Gene Pitney and they had me. And that's actually all the artists they even had, I think, to begin with. Maybe 2 or 3 of the unknown pop artists. But I think it was just Gene had his first couple of 3 records for them, for Musicorps, was successful, and mine was fairly okay. And they come up with the idea themselves, and fortunately it turned out fairly well.
Oh, it's turned out tremendously well, I know, George. And I know you are enjoying it, and so is Gene Pitney and Pappy Daly, who is one of the great guys in this business, in my opinion, as well as Art Talmadge, who has lent a lot of dignity and stature to the recording industry, and he's a man with plenty of know-how. You got one that's out now these days, you and Gene did, your latest, as a matter of fact, about a big job that I'd like to get you to introduce, and we'll just put it on for the folks right now, would you?
All right, here's Gene Pitney, the Connecticut hillbilly, and myself doing one called Big Job.
Now that we got George Jones cornered for a minute, I want to corner him on some things. George, sit down here while we've got a chance. George Jones from, where are you from originally? Is your home?
Well, I hail from around Beaumont, Texas.
Were you born down here?
Yeah, I was born in a little town called Saratoga.
Saratoga.
Yeah, it's about 15, 20 miles out of Beaumont.
And you started singing, have you sung all your life, or did you just...
Well, as far back as I can remember, I guess, Biff. Started singing a lot in churches when I was little, and my sister and myself started harmonizing together, as you call it. And we sung together all the time around the house and in church till I got up around, I'll say 10 or 11 years old. My dad bought me my first guitar. So...
started something.
The Sunday school teacher in the church I went to taught me 2 or 3 of the chords and caught on real quick, and ever since then I've been trying to pick and holler a little bit.
Did you have an ambition to be a singer when you were a kid?
Well, it didn't enter my mind so much of wanting to make it a career until I got up a little older, you know. I always just didn't, I didn't know you got paid for it, but then I just enjoyed doing it, you know.
Amazing how much money you lost back there.
Yeah, I might have made a
Singing
few
free.
dollars back then, you know.
How does it feel, George? I know you started professionally about when, you remember?
Well, I had my first recording out around February of '54, I believe it was. And needless to say, it's been a hard grind, you know, first few years.
Well, it generally is, and it's an interesting thing. So many people will say, they'll hear a new artist with a big record, and they'll say, gee whiz, actually a guy's not new, but you perhaps have been recording 4 or 5 years and finally get a big record. You say, gee, there's a brand new singer.
Yeah, that'll happen a lot of times because people don't remember your name at all until you do get 1 or 2 big records. And you can record it all your life and just have moderate tunes out and never do anything big, and they still won't know who you are.
What's your preference? What kind of songs do you prefer to sing, George?
Well, I guess just good old country ballads is my favorite.
Ballads.
Heart songs, slobbing tearjerkers, I call them.
Well, the amazing thing about you, I think one of the factors in your success, certainly on stage, is that you not only can handle a ballad with much finesse and pleasure, but you can sure sing the rhythm things and the novelties.
Thank you very much. I like to do them, too, because when we work a lot of club dates, too, you know, along with our personal appearances, and you have to do those type of tunes to kind of keep the people happy, too, you know. I like to do them because it gives you a lot of extra energy that you've had hidden, you know.
Get rid of some of that, as Daddy says, you get rid of some of that extra.
In other words, if you want to let off steam a little bit, just do a novelty or something.
Right. But I guess you, since you and your sister sang together as kids, I guess doing duets with girls comes naturally. You've sure been successful with that lately.
Yeah, I tell you, I love to hear harmony, but I think it's prettier with a man and a woman singing together, and than it is with even a whole group to me. You know, it's just maybe a 2 or 3 part harmony is real pretty. And I think a woman that sings should take the lead, and the man sing the harmony with her. It's even prettier.
Are you a businessman, George? Do you plan ever to get in business, or do you have any kind of side businesses?
Well, I have a little restaurant I've had for about a year in Viderville, I call it.
Viderville.
Where I live, and of course my wife, she runs the place, and I'm very thankful to say it's doing fairly well. We hope to build a place of our own a little later in a better locality, you know, like on the freeways where you can get a little more business than where we're at. But I don't know. I don't have too much of a business head on me. I didn't go very far in school. So I leave that part to my wife. However, I like the idea of being in business because in this business I'm in, the entertainment business, you can't never know when a bad year is going to come along.
Yeah,
you know? It's always nice to have something to fall back on.
Right. As a friend of mine says, it's nice to have something like that to keep you off the streets in case.
Right. That's the truth.
I'm anxious to see that place, George, when you get it all fixed up and built, that big place, and I can just see it now, Jonesville.
We call it Chuck Wagon.
Chuck Wagon.
Yeah.
Great. George, thank you. Continue. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Biff. It's nice visiting with you.
See you later.
WSM Radio 650 won't need you anymore. That's from the brand new album, Always and Forever. Mr. Randy Travis. Good to see you, Randy.
Well, good to see you. Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, trying to wake up.
How are you? Just
Yeah.
getting off the road?
We got in yesterday. We came in from Nebraska, and we're going to be in town for a few days now, and then we'll head back out again about Thursday of this week.
Yeah. I guess that means you're not playing the Opry this weekend.
No, we're not going to get to do it this weekend. I'm not sure when we're going to be back in town on a weekend, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But anytime we are here over the weekend, we'll definitely be at the Opry.
Yeah, we're awfully proud to have you as a member over there.
Well, I'm glad to be over there. I tell you, it's a big night for me. The first night, you know, when I was inducted into the Opry, that's quite a feeling.
Well, I tell you what, boy, you just hot in a pistol right now. Do you ever have any time just to sit back and kick back and relax anymore?
I hadn't lately, no.
Go flip a hamburger over the palace just to stay in touch, you know?
You know, I was just over there about a week ago, or 2 weeks ago. Went in, had dinner, and saw, you know, I still have some good friends over there who still work there and was there when I was there. And it's nice to go back and have dinner once in a while and just visit with everybody.
Yeah. For those who may not know, Randy spent some of his formative years here in Nashville flipping hamburgers and singing at the Palace.
Yeah.
Although you told me you never did bust tables, right?
Well, I never waited on people. I bust some tables.
You did bust some tables.
Yeah, I was never a waiter.
When you go back in a situation like that, I know we were speaking of Ricky. Ricky and I were talking one night. He was talking about when he goes home to Kentucky. People treat him differently now. And you know, he really would like to just go in and be treated like the Ricky that we all know and love, but now that he's had some success, people do treat him a little differently. Have you found that to be the case?
You know, I hadn't.
That's good.
I'm from a small town, a place called Marshall, North Carolina, and you know, I go back about once a year to spend any time, you know, around Christmas time, visit with everybody. And in fact, this Christmas I got to see some friends of mine that I went to school with, which I hadn't seen in about 8 years. And you know, there's no difference.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it is nice. Tonight we're gonna tear down the wall.
Randy Travis from his album Always and Forever. We're visiting with Randy today. I tell you what, I don't know how to handle this, quite frankly. George Jones just walked in. I mean, I'll just lay it on you as it happened. As we were sitting here talking, George appeared, and Randy and I just about had a heart attack, and I'm not sure we're over it yet. But, George, it's good to see you.
The reason I came by here, though, I didn't want to butt in on you because y'all was doing a fine job, and I was listening to y'all for about the last 30 minutes. And
George, you can butt in anytime you want to.
I just want to tell you
that.
how great I think this boy is and how great I think his new album is because he gave me a copy. And
well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that about me, George.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll say hi to you in a minute.
Oh, I appreciate it.
But we didn't mean to butt in, though, but I just had to come by and just tell Randy how great I think this new album is, and I think everybody's really going to love it.
Oh.
It's good to be back to country music. I like his T-shirts, too.
Listen, I hate to do this, but I've got to play a commercial. I mean, I'm up against the wall. I'd love to just wipe them all out and just sit here and talk to you guys, but I've got to take a break.
That's the name of my life.
George, sit down.
Always
Don't leave.
come in during a commercial.
That's right. Sit down. You're not going anywhere.
Now, go ahead, Earl. Go on.
The crowd's growing all the time. We're visiting with Randy Travis and George Jones. George, you've been hearing his new album? You can talk into this mic right here.
Oh, my goodness. I'm telling you.
Is that a killer?
They gave me a copy Sunday evening or Saturday. Saturday night, and I've been listening to it on the bus all the way back into Nashville. And I'm not saying it because he's sitting here right now, but I'm just telling you, it's the greatest country album that I've heard in many decades. And I tell you, it's just great to see that we got people like George Strait and Randy Travis and well, of course, George Jones a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
That's doing country. That's the real good country thing. That's what we're proud of.
Now, Randy, if somebody would pick Randy up off the floor, will you respond to what this man just said?
I agree with him 100%. You know,
that's got to make you feel good to hear somebody like George Jones talk about you like that.
Makes me feel great. I tell you, it made me the first, not the first night, but the second time that I worked with George. I remember, of course, we opened the show, and then he did his show, and then invited me back up on stage to sing with him.
Wow.
So that was quite a night, you know.
He's getting so popular right now, though, that
I wouldn't get him up there
I'm afraid
again.
He's going to have to invite me back up next time.
Where I'm going, don't you want to come too? I know where I'm going.
Radio 650 WSM. That's the Judge, Naomi Winona. I know where I'm going. We're going out to Mount Juliet. Today is Charlie Daniels' birthday. We have got the folks all gathered here in the studio. And we just, you know, like I say, unfortunately the band went on strike.
Yes.
And we don't have any backup, so we're just going to have to do it a cappella. Now, let me tell you, we've got some real singers in here.
Who we got there this morning?
Oh, listen, Brent Stoker's over here, and Kyle Cantrell, several of the girls from the front office. Let's see, we've got about an evenly divided choir here, haven't we? I'm directing, Charlie, so if they get off time, blame it on me, which they probably will. Can anybody hit a key of G? Does it sound like? Well, I don't know. What does a G sound like, Charlie? Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Charlie. And everybody in Mount Juliet, we said hi. Happy birthday to you.
Wow, and Harvey.
Hey.
Everybody. If somebody had told me about 40 years ago that I was going to be sitting on the telephone in Tennessee and the folks from WSM were going to sing happy birthday to me, I would have probably not made it to been this old. I'd have been so excited.
That's Ricky Skaggs. You may see me walking. I got one of Ricky Skaggs' buddies in here, as a matter of fact. One of my buddies, and I'm awfully glad he could be here today. Mr. Keith Whitley.
Hi, Keith.
Good to see you.
Good to be here. Thanks for inviting me out.
And a young lady who I have known since water and have loved all this time, but finally the best Keith won.
Yeah,
She went and married this rascal.
Though.
Yeah, I know.
Really
you
was.
just tell me that to make me feel good. Miss Lori Morgan. Well, it's good to see you two.
Well,
Thanks.
thank you.
The newlyweds.
Yes, we are.
Is the honeymoon over yet?
No.
You mean no? Y'all ain't had a good knockdown drag out yet?
Well, we didn't say we hadn't had a good knockdown drag.
That don't mean
it's
the
over?
honeymoon's over. Just have to have a
Is that-
little fight.
Making up's good,
That's
though.
right. That's the best part.
That's fun.
Sure is.
One of the funniest scenes I have ever seen in my life. One night you were out at the Opry, and I hid you behind the door and brought Ricky in. You jumped out at him, and you two started imitating Lester Flatt to one another. It was like Lester talking to Lester.
We used to do that a long time ago, and Lester was real fond of my imitation of him.
Can you do me a little Lester right now?
Well, you know, I take my Lester Flatt imitation with me everywhere I go. Keith, I'd like to say that it's a real pleasure being here with you this morning on WSM and gathering around the microphone. Goodness gracious, it's good.
I love that. I love that. Does he do that to you at home a lot,
He
Lori?
does sometimes. Sometimes. He's been trying to think of a new song for Lester to sing, so he's...
Well, you know, I got to doing I tried to think of a song that would be the most unlikely song in the world for Lester Flatt to sing, and I came up with Rub It In, and I did that on the Nashville Now show.
Oh,
and I
goodness.
just worked 2 weeks ago with Billy Crash Craddock, and the first thing he said to me was, "Man, you got to do Rub It In for me like Lester Flatt." So
Can you do just a little of that?
Lie beside me on the sand. Put some lotion in your hand. Come on and make me feel nice. Kiss me once or twice. Say you love me again. Then rub it in, rub it in.
We've got the man on the phone right now, Mr. Gene Watson. Gene's good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, Keith.
Now, you were working on some material last night that will be on your brand new album, I understand.
All right, called I Only Feel Right Doing Wrong.
Is that... Boy, you come up with some of the greatest material.
Well, you know, I got some good writers that send me stuff, and I appreciate, all of that. You can't sing them unless the writers write them.
I tell you, one of your early songs, it got to be the saddest song I ever heard, Farewell Party.
Probably the most requested song that I've got in the whole show, and all by far, it's been the best song I've ever recorded as far as, the public's concerned. They'd stone me if I didn't do that song before I got off the stage.
I bet they would. Why do you think that song is so popular? Because it really deals with a very morbid theme. I mean, the guy is dying and, is talking about his funeral, and his wife's going to be happy he's gone. And, boy, you get to thinking about it, it's depressing,
Well, it really is. A lot of times, I know when we do our personal appearances and everything, I think the people just love to see me suffer right there at the end of the song.
When you hit that high note.
And because they come out of the audience up there to the stage, with their cameras and everything, they want to see the veins pop out in my neck, and all that. But I don't know. It was a good song for us. I wish I had a whole lot more of them.
Holly Dunn. Holly, it's good to see you.
Thank you, Keith. It's great to be here.
We talked on the phone before, but it's much better to have you sitting across the desk from me.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I can be here to look at you.
Well, see, now I can tell when you're lying. Look deeply into your eyes, my dear. WSM Radio 650, Love Someone Like Me. That's the latest from Holly Dunn. Miss Dunn, what number is it on the charts this week?
Well, it's number 7, and we're really excited about it.
We're talking with Mrs. Yvonne Dunn from out in Austin, Texas. That's Holly's mama. Say hi to Mama, Holly.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Holly. Nice talking to you.
I understand that Mr. Dunn is getting a little carried away with being the father of a star and also the man that Daddy's Hands was written about.
Yes, in fact, the entire family is.
Oh, is that right? What's been the reaction at home?
Well, we call our friends when she's going to be on New Country or Nashville Now or some other program, and we just spread the word all over the country.
We have Brother Frank Dunn on the telephone, who is Holly's father. We talked to your mom, now we're talking to your dad. This is the daddy of Daddy's Hands. You will forever be known as that.
Well, I don't deserve it, and I'm not worthy of the sentiment of the song, but
I think Holly has already explained to me that she took a little poetic license.
No. Well, that's not what I heard. You were running all over town saying, "Hey, I'm the daddy of daddies." Do you get out and tell people about that? Do you?
I'm not ashamed to. Honestly.
What did you say when Holly said, "Dad, I'm going to leave Abilene Christian College and go to Nashville"?
Well, frankly, both her mother and I thought that it would soon wear off.
She'll get over it.
She'll get over it.
That's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah. Well, your mother said that, Miss Dunn said that they were, happy for her. Of course, didn't want to go that far from home. Holly says y'all were hanging on to the bumpers, and you said it would wear off. That's interesting to get the three different perspectives.
I will say this, that we have really been proud of her, and once we saw how serious she was about it, we backed her all the way.
Absolutely. They really have been great.
WSM Radio 650. I love how you love me. That's Glenn Campbell. It's 11:20. We mentioned a little bit earlier. Today is Mickey Gilley's birthday, and lo and behold, all the way from the great state of Texas, we have Mickey on the telephone. Happy birthday, Mickey.
Well, thank you, Keith. Like I said before, I don't want to have any more, but, you can't slow old man time down. He just keeps coming on.
We've got all the band assembled out here in the studio, and, it's not everybody that gets this honor, Mickey. I was telling you earlier, last person that was bestowed upon was Johnny Cash, but we've got all the WSM studio band together now.
I tell you what, you put me in some great company with Johnny Cash if y'all going to do me an honor of doing me a birthday song.
I think we did this for Charlie Daniels, too. So,
well, I'm still in great company.
Three heavies right there. Mickey Gilley, Johnny Cash, and Charlie Daniels. Boys, are you ready? Okay, here we go. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3 for Mickey now. Play it good. Not that good. Somebody get the tuba player out of here. A big finish, boys. Hey, that doesn't get any better than that, does it?
That was great.
Could you use them on the road, maybe as an opening act?
I tell you what, anytime.
Say hello to Vanna White. Hello, Vanna.
Hi.
How are things in Los Angeles today?
Raining here today.
I thought it never rained in Southern California.
Never does.
There's a song that says that documents it.
And I know it's true, but I love it. I love when it rains here, which is very rare. But and now I have to leave. I have to go and get on an airplane.
Well, that's the way of showbiz.
That's terrible.
I understand you are on your way to Nashville this weekend.
Yes, I'm going to be there on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it.
WSM Radio 650 right-hand man, that's Eddie Raven. It's 10:11, high atop our birthday list this very day, the one, the only, live from Austin, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, it's Hoyt Axton. Happy birthday, Hoyt.
Thank you, Keith.
You awake this morning yet?
Yeah, what am I? I'm 18 now, I think.
No, I think you got to add 31 to that.
I'm 49 years old.
That's what they tell me.
They said I'd never live this long.
You like
Waylon? I was too pretty.
You like Waylon, if you knew you was going to live this long, you'd take better care of yourself, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hoyt, I've got a special message here for you. I'm sure you know what's coming, don't you?
I'm ready for it.
Listen closely now. See if you can identify this voice.
Hi, son. Happy birthday.
I know that voice.
Tomorrow.
Comanche, Oklahoma, wasn't it?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Born in Duncan, really.
What kind of a day was it when Hoyt was born?
Oh, it was a beautiful day.
Really?
Yeah, but it wasn't much fun at the moment.
How long were you in labor, May?
Yeah, it was a pretty difficult one, yeah.
Oh, is that
22 hours.
How much did he weigh? Do you remember?
Yeah, 8.5 pounds.
So he was a big baby. Well, why did you name Hoyt Hoyt?
All right, because I was very young, and the kids, I started teaching when I was 16.
Uh-huh.
Not that I was so smart to teach.
She give a short answer on anything, Hoyt.
Me up from the
Listen, I had to leave home when I was 18 and call Mom a long distance to get one word in.
She's coming up to it.
So the kids all, some of them, in fact, taught in high school were older than